In today's video, we debut our latest one-off livery as there is chaos yet again in another Grand Prix weekend in this season. It has really been a storm, a roller coaster, and that didn't stop last time out as Oscar Piastri got airborne and there was a monumental double DNF caused by the Williams Porsche of Paul Aaron, who then went on to play a bit of ping pong with my front wing and cause us red front wing damage as we saw Victor Martins in the Cadillac F1 team securing his and the team's first ever victory in Formula 1. The Americans up on top at the Dutch GP, and we came away with a double 0 points finish. And it means, well, the top 6 are incredibly close. It is covered by 9 points there, down to Piastri from Ocon. It's still actually quite close then to Albon and Aaron, to be fair, relative to some of the bigger gaps we've seen as we now go into the Italian Grand Prix. And it is time for another variant livery of ours. We've already done 2 so far. There was the Castrol livery at Monaco, the XJS throwback at Silverstone, and now it is time for the Silk Cut livery. Probably the biggest one out of the 4. You know, when I first announced these special liveries, I think this was definitely the one that people were most excited by, because it's probably the most out there and iconic and rememberable one-off Jaguar livery, because this is it. A lovely little number with a base of white, purple and gold accent, and this is a throwback to the Jaguar XJ9 sponsored by Silk Cut back in the day. This V12 powered supercar was driven to victory at Daytona 24 Hours and then Le Mans, so the livery has got some real pedigree, and I'm hoping that we can live up to that history. But it really goes very well with the F1 chassis, I must say. Once again, with these, sort of, WEC to F1 livery conversions, some of the shapes and designs are always a little bit difficult to translate across to the different chassis, but I think this probably fits the best out of the 3 liveries we've done so far. Certainly a very striking one. Silk Cut's color scheme really out there and in your face, and certainly probably the biggest departure from our base livery in terms of like the engine cover not having the Jaguar actually across the face of it, and instead it's that kind of covered and chevroned gold plating essentially. And then around the car we've still got our usual motifs of my logo checkerboarded across the engine cover subtly in purple now, and we've got the halo in purple to match the rest, and try and kind of collar block it in the same way that the WEC livery was. And of course, you'll see matching purple Silk Cut overalls as well as we go into the Italian Grand Prix. And although we just drove as Kimi Antonelli, we are going to continue to drive as Antonelli, as it would be rude not to drive as Kimi for his home race. We drove as Oscar for his home race to open up the season, and so we'll repay the favour to Kimi Antonelli as we go to the Italian Grand Prix.
For over a century, the Temple of Speed has all come down to moments like this. Driver versus the stopwatch to set the grid for the Grand Prix. It is qualifying at Monza.
Loading into the race weekend, unfortunately, it's a bit doom and gloom. I really hope that's not a symbolization of what the race weekend to come is going to be like, as it's raining here in Monza. Of course it is. Of course. Yet again, maybe a bit of a bumpy race weekend in one of the one-off liveries. And, compared to other places, other venues, this is a place where it rains, it's quite tough because you're already running like very low wings. By default on F1 25, the wing levels are 0-0, so it's always tough. But as we're going through the motions, Victor Martins having a DNF in Q1, having just won the last race at the Dutch Grand Prix to crash down to reality, although the replays show that he drove actively towards a car exiting the pit lane. A very strange crash, and meanwhile we are just aura farming our way through the final corner, admiring our new snazzy Silk Cut livery as we cross the line, and we will go fastest of all at the moment, and I'm hoping that'll be enough just to get through into Q2. But yeah, that was the scene of where Martin's just had his DNF. It's always odd to see a DNF notification in the middle of qualifying, so we had to go have a look on the replay camera straight away. Glad we caught that, because unlike the race, there's no way to watch the replay after the session is over, as you can clearly see at the results page. But Oscar Piastri surprisingly P1 there, so maybe our car's actually got some speed around here. I say surprisingly, because obviously our car's not the best in a straight line. The Jaguar engine is down on power, but it being wet actually may help us in that department. Maybe that's why Oscar was up there, because in the wet conditions, maybe that straight line speed is a little bit reduced of an importance around Monza, as very strangely, my engineers were telling me, let's go on slicks at the start of Q2. I disagreed because it still looked too wet out there, and I saw others on the replays, you know, in the pit box. They were also on inters. So I've chosen to go on inters and gone against my own engineer. Stroll is on softs. I think both McLarens are on softs, but the Ferraris have gone with me on inters. Same for the Cadillac and Maloney, and we go quickest of all by a fair margin, I've got to say as well. And right now, on the second laps out there, we've got a mixture. The McLarens, Honda, Red Bull on the softs. We're on the inters, along with Piastri, so this is a team decision. Ferrari as well. Cadillac with the sole car they've got, Maloney. The second lap, we didn't gain too much in the middle sector. We got held up a little bit with traffic. It was a purple first sector, but I decided not to come in because we clearly had a lap already good enough. Baffling Q2, because clearly the Inters were the quicker tyre, but it seems like everyone bar ourselves, Ferrari and Cadillac, were too stubborn to switch over and admit they made a mistake, so they stuck with the softs. In the end of it, all the big names have kind of got in, apart from Colapinto. That's a bit of a shock for him, and not what he wants, as he's still very much in the frame in the title fight, but he's out in P11. But you've got, you know, Verstappen's through, both Ferraris, both ourselves, the Jaguar with ourselves and Piastri, so, and Tsunoda, of course, as well, in the Williams Porsche. So all the kind of protagonists in the title fight, apart from maybe Colapinto and Aaron, I don't know if he made it in, are here. And again, it's a split decision. It's clearly wet enough for Inters. I don't know why majority of these guys are going on slicks. Ferrari, I think, are the only team, and maybe that one Cadillac again, the only other team choosing to stick with us on inters. Piastri's gone quickest. So very surprisingly, I've been outdone by Piastri there. Ocon as well, a bit quicker, but only narrowly, you know, very, very fine margins. So we'll go again. But again, on the second time of asking, they're all on softs, barring Ferrari and Maloney in the Cadillac. What is going on? I don't know if this is like a glitch. Like, are they like simulating themselves on a wet track or on a dry track or something? I don't know. It might just be a very peculiar choice they're making. Either way, it does throw up a bit of, you know, confusion and mystery in the air, as we've not had a very great lap. We've gone yellow, and we're going to continue and finish the lap, and we are narrowly going to just improve by 0.025, and what do you know? That 0.025 seconds was enough of an improvement to take me from third to second. And so, quite amazingly, in the one-off silk cut livery, is this a great sign of things to come? It's a front row. It's a front row lockout for the aarava Jaguar racing team in the whites, purple and gold. Piastri, surprisingly, just dominating this. 7/10 clear. I mean, fair play. That's insane. Second place for us. I'm pretty happy with that. Very fine margins to Ocon, but very baffling. That majority chose the softs. Bortoletto's actually done very well on the softs to be P5, but Verstappen P8, Tsunoda P10, they're going to be questioning their decisions, but I'm pretty happy with that because we got a 1-2 out of it. So that's the best way to start an Italian Grand Prix. Let's go to the grid.
The third permanent circuit built anywhere on Earth. Monza has always been special. Now it's been providing motor racing memories for a century. Welcome to the Italian Grand Prix. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and it's Andrea Kimi Antonelli in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Ocon, Albon, Gabriel Bortoletto and Maloney. Sainz, Verstappen, Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda. Norris, Lawson, Lance Stroll, Aaron, Solov, O'Sullivan, Victor Martins and Jack Doohan. Pepe Marti, Barnard, Colapinto and Jack Crawford rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Delighted to say joining us for this intriguing race is Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
So this is a first this season, and I think a first for a while. I can't even remember the last time we got a front row lockout in F1 25, my team career. I think it may have honestly been season 3 with Tramnitz and Behrman. That seems like a lifetime ago. And from here, I'm kind of hoping that we can control the race, that we can work together as a team here, because the Ferraris are looking good. They're 3-4, it's their home race, and Ferrari, they've looked as good as they ever have for the last 2 seasons, so they'll be really gunning to try and get a victory in their home race. They've been nowhere near it. It was actually an embarrassment last time out the Italian Grand Prix in season 4, so they'll be really going for it. Can we convert this 1-2 to at least a double podium, I'm hoping? Let's go to 5 red lights here at the Temple of Speed. Lights out, and we're on the way. It's a so-so getaway. Piastri coming across to defend the inside line. Ocon is maybe looking for the move. We're going to go to the outside instead, though, and we're kind of defending Ocon whilst also attacking Piastri. Yellow flags behind. Piastri gets a great exit. It's very close between us two teammates. We're going to tuck in and try and maybe make a move on the left. Is he going to give us the room? No, not quite. We can't go on the right either. We nearly make a little bit of contact. Piastri, double lockup. Big mistake for the Australian. And we come through with our Italian stallion, Antonelli. We lead his home race after Piastri makes a crucial mistake there. We kept our head in it. We kept cool, calm and collected. And we lead this race now. Ferrari pressurising. Albon is now ahead of Ocon. I've only just noticed Verstappen P5 and Maloney still holding it down, P6 for Cadillac as Albon, great overtake on the outside into Ascari, and now Piastri will come back at him a little bit. Look at that aggressive move from Oscar. Probably got the bit between his teeth, a bit upset with himself maybe at the mistake there. He can't quite finish off the move on Albon. But that fighting, look at the gap. 1.3 now the gap is from us to P2. So that fighting has given us already a breathing room. We've broken DRS as it's 3, nearly 4 wide down to turn 1. It's 3 wide behind as well. And Verstappen all of a sudden is getting in the mixer, and now Piastri finds himself down in P5 from P2 to P5. What's gone on there? As there's fighting going on elsewhere between Maloney, Gasly and Bortoletto. Bortoletto in the Honda ahead of the Cadillac, but the Cadillac has the inside line for the second part of that chicane, and Maloney gets through. Yellow flags behind, and it's an early safety car, and that is going to neutralise the race and erode, well, it was about a 4-second gap we had basically to second place, so that's a bit frustrating from my side. Shock horrid, so another Renault out. That causes a safety car, but there's no point coming in. It's too early for a pit stop. But all this does is basically erode that gap. So that's why it's frustrating from my side. There's nothing clever to do on the strategy. It's more of a case of okay, we now need to reset and go again and try and again build that gap. But there's no guarantee of that because now we've got Verstappen right behind Albon. So there's no guarantee Piastri will help us with fighting. And also Ocon, by the way, down in 14th. So Ocon's pit under the safety car. That's interesting. As you can see, I'm very maybe over dramatically weaving, but essentially I'm just kind of biding my time. I'm the one controlling the pace. I am the de facto safety car now, and so I can do what I want until we get to that white line to start the green flag conditions. So I'm just taking my time, making sure I heat things up. It's a bit of a psychological battle here as well, trying to almost pull the wool over Albon's eyes. We went a little bit, then we broke, and now we're going to go again and weave, and we're going to wait to the last possible second to go on the white line to try and catch Albon. What? To try and catch Albon? He's just overtaken us before the white line. Referee! FIA! What's going... Are you seriously telling me that's not a penalty? Oh my days. No, I'm not having this. We come back for the overtake. Oh, Albon's taking us out. Verstappen's piled in. It's a disaster. We've tried to give ourselves a bit of justice versus the Ferrari, and he's taken it to his own hands. He's spun us round. Verstappen's come in with the tag team hit, and our side pod is damaged, I think, or maybe the floor. But what was this? What the hell? Are you this man got caught in 4K resolution overtaking me before the white line, and you're telling me there was no investigation. We come in and it's a little bit my own fault, but you got to understand, the red mist had fully descended. I was probably the most pissed off I've ever been on this game because I could not believe what had just happened. And then Verstappen, obviously just going for the overtake on the Ferrari, comes in for the pile drive and breaks my floor a lot more than it would have been just with that spin from the Ferrari. So the anger has got the better of me right there because that was my fault at turn one, but that was only because we got absolutely finessed by the FI. And then, wow, brilliant. Verstappen's P1 on the red flag restart as it goes to lights out for the second time today. And, oh, he's got such a slow getaway. Is this justice for us? No, Albon's there on the right. It's 3 wide into turn one. We brake so late that we lock the rear end. And that's actually more so because I didn't realise, I forgot. I have floor damage, so the performance isn't what I want it to be under braking. Albon's now P1. At this point, I'm still pretty pissed off at the Ferrari. Oh, we're in the grass. Verstappen gives us a tap. We've locked up. We've somehow got that through for P1. How have we survived that? That was the messiest overtake and the most dramatic overtake for P1 there, because this is a replay then. If you didn't catch what happened, I basically got squeezed out. I tried to go to the right, and Verstappen just gave me a tap. I then moved very quickly onto the grass, and with a grass tyre, I still managed to find my way through with a lockup into P1. Unbelievable. So now, once again, we lead this Grand Prix. Albon is still chasing us, but we defend as Verstappen surprisingly gets overtaken by Tsunoda. He's come out of nowhere as well. I swear Tsunoda was P10 at the starting grid, so he's done amazingly to recover in only 7 laps with the red flag, albeit up to 3rd place. So Tsunoda's second. What? Yuki Tsunoda is absolutely flying. Is that the Porsche engine finally opening up the taps? Because Paul Aaron, by the way, he's out. He DNF'd, I think, in that pile-up at turn 1 that we caused, so he's out. Tsunoda is the only Porsche-powered car in the race, and he's up to 2nd place, but also, I haven't told you guys, I haven't mentioned it, but we're on hards right now, and oh my god, Tsunoda's in. Oh my days. Oh my days. Tsunoda's in. Tsunoda's in. I think he got damage. He must have got damage on Albon then, because I was going to say, all those guys chasing me are on mediums. They've got to pit again. There's no way they can go to the end, but my game plan is going to the end. I, on purpose, chose the hards, thinking the strategy anyway, without the red flag, was medium to hard, 1 stop. So with the red flag, no brainer, get a free pit stop, go on hards, go to the end. But, no, a 2nd safety car. Oh, that might just change everything then. That's going to change everything. Okay, the plan was to go to the end, but now the plan has to be to use this to come in because everyone... What? I thought everyone was going to come in just then. What is going on? Honestly, it's all started from qualifying when everyone chose softs when I was in inters. What is happening in this episode with the tyre choices? I'm in because I thought, oh, okay, everyone's about to come in off those mediums because they have to change compound. If I was in their shoes, it would be a no-brainer to come in for a free pit stop onto hards and go to the end from this point. I thought I'd cover them off because as the leader, you're actually in the worst position if you don't come in because you're still on the hards, but older hards than the hards they're going on to. But now I'm the one who looks puzzled. I'm in P15 on new hards, albeit, but now a bunch of people ahead of me are still on those mediums, and some of them are actually on hards because they went the same way as me on the red flag. I can't call this now. I still feel like I'm on the better strategy. Like, I hope you guys can agree right here. I think we're on the better strat. I think they'll all come in and we'll still take the lead, right? Surely. But as we get ready to psych ourselves up for our second safety car restart, I just want to test something right here, okay? Let's do exactly what Albon did, sorry, and overtake Gasly here. Oh my day. We were an inch ahead of Gasly there, and we got called out for an illegal overtake. That just proves... How on earth did that Ferrari get away with that? That is so dodgy. That is the biggest Ferrari international assistance I have ever seen. That is incredibly fraudulent. We overtake Gasly anyway to turn 1, but that's my point proven. If this was a real race, we would be bringing that evidence, that experiment, to the FIA post-race for a post-race penalty. But there's nothing like that on the F1 game, sadly. But that's exactly what would happen, because that is just unbelievable. As we overtake Marty, and we're getting through these guys with ease, we're in a quicker car, but also clearly, maybe, they're on a couple of laps old hard tyres, but our car's working really well around here, even in the dry conditions. Piastri's been having a pretty okay race. He's gone down a few positions, sure, but so far, our car's actually performed surprisingly well around Monza, considering the engine deficit. But I suppose, the lower wings are helping that out. And now we're going for a move on the Audi. We just got Lawson earlier in the Honda, but surprisingly, the Audi gives me a good fight here. And to be fair, this is the illustration of we're good in the corners, but on that, just at the end of the straights, some cars are quicker, including the Audi, so we have to try and get that done under braking for P11. But these guys ahead, they're fighting each other so much that we just catch Norris napping completely there. So up to P10, Ocon P9 here. My beef is not with Ocon, he's the other Ferrari in this one, but it'd be ideal to overtake him. He's looking for the move on Martins, the latest race winner in this season. Remember, as we're up to P5, people have made pit stops. So look at this as we go for the textbook switchback from right to left. Out traction them both for the double overtake up to third place. Piastri is in second ahead of me. And we got Soloff in the Haas in P1, but they're going to pit. They're going to pit. So we are going to be P1 as Ocon re-overtakes me. Just showing the power of DRS. We had no one ahead of us to give us DRS there, so we're a sitting duck, but it won't matter. We're just going through the motions, and it's just a formality of swapping back positions with Ocon, as it's now another 1-2 for our team. But it's going to be short-lived because Piastri is going to come in eventually. But Ocon and Norris are annoying me a fair bit here because we don't have that DRS ahead of us. So they're able to pass us once again. So this is why it's so crucial to break that DRS. Why I was so gassed in the first stint to have broken it, and why the safety car was so annoying to erode that. Because once you've got out DRS, you can just get in the zone and break away. But Ocon's going to come in. Piastri's in. And there you go. There you go. Vindication. I was right all along, even with that extra stop onto the safety car, the second one. We're first place, and all those guys had to pit again, and they should have made the most of that free pit stop, that second safety car, because now we're P1 on lap 19. Stroll is second place, Verstappen third, so all of a sudden it's 2-3 for McLaren. That's insane for them. Bortoletto is overtaking Albon, which I'll absolutely cheer on. To be honest, I'm cheering on for an Albon DNF, really. Hoping so after what he's done to our race. Sainz P6, Piastri 7th, Tsunoda P8, and now it's Gasly looking to, well, keep P10 actually, as Norris gets into the top 10. But Tsunoda kind of falling away a little bit in the chaos, really. He was looking good at one point, up in 3rd place. And on to lap 21, behind us, look at the top left, Stroll's in. So I thought Stroll somehow finessed things and he was actually in legit P2, but no, he's pit. So Verstappen is actually now the one chasing us down, but that 11.5 second gap, that is the gap we have earned because of the decisions we've made with pitting under the safety car. Tsunoda is setting a fastest lap, and he's actually climbed up to nearly P4. He has got up to P4 on the top left. Tsunoda is absolutely flying to recover a podium position as it's 3 wide into turn 1. The Renault's out, and now it's a 3rd safety car here in Monza, and it's a final twist in the tail. Because now, once again, as the leader, I'm the one screwed over by this safety car. I have to come in. My tyres are nearly 40% worn. Verstappen is going to be at least only 10%. You're telling me he's going to have 30% better tyres right behind me, no gap, compared to 11.5 seconds. Disaster. I have to come in, because we will just be absolutely swallowed if we had stayed on those tyres.
There seems to have been a problem attaching the left rear wheel. We need to try and put that behind us though, and let's finish this race strong.
Thank you, team. Thank you for that. 5.1 pit stop. We've come out in P7. It probably would have been around P3, but it's P7. So you're telling me in like 3 laps, I have to make 7 overtakes to get this victory back? What? The safety car's not coming in. Are you joking me? Are you actually? I'm not going to even get 3 laps. I'm going to get 2 laps. What?
You've got P7, 7th place. Okay, gap to leader, 1.9 seconds.
Oh no. I feel like this is being absolutely manipulated, man. What are the FIA cooking? This is no. Why? Well, there is no need for us to be going out for this extra lap. We should have already been racing at this point. You're telling me I now have only 2 laps to make 7 overtakes to retake this lead on softs, albeit, but still, that's a lot of overtakes to do in 2 laps only. And Verstappen conveniently is in the lead now. Wow. FI fraudulency. It knows no bounds today, doesn't it? First Albon and that safety car restart, and now this late safety car, and staying out for 1 convenient more extra lap so I don't get that extra time to make overtakes. As we go again under green flags, we make a double dive bomb on Piastri and Bortoletto. The back end kicks out because remember, this entire time we've had floor damage, but the soft tyres are going to completely negate that damage. So we're going to be very quick on these fresh softs, remember, because we didn't use a single set of softs in qualifying. So we are going to be rapid, but we've already lost a bit of time there. We're going to make an absolute kamikaze dive bomb on Carlos Sainz. You can see the way the car is twitching, dancing around. We are pushing the absolute limits of this thing. But the problem is, Verstappen's nearly got a 1 second gap to P2. If we clear these 2, we still need to gain over a second over a lap that doesn't have DRS, by the way, to then overtake Verstappen. Is these 2? No, Albon! No! One last time, Albon is going to annoy us to no end there. So awkward to make that overtake round the outside at Ascari. And now as we go through Parabolica, ideally I should have been P2 already, but we're P3 as Piastri is having a great old scrap with Bortoletto. Onto the final lap of the Grand Prix. Gasly comes back. Those 3 are going to be 3 wide as Albon has actually... Albon's got overtaken by Sainz. That's how slow Albon was there. and all he contributed was slowing me up at Ascari. That's all he has contributed, as Piastri tries to make a beautiful double pass on Bortoletto and Gasly into turns 1 and 2. And whilst that's been going on, you'll notice I'm still P3. We've only just closed to Tsunoda because that Williams has been great in a straight line. Look at the launch he's getting off these corners. I'm trying my best into the corner to gain as much time as we can on the fresh softs, but we're already halfway through the last lap. Verstappen's still 1.7 clear. It's done. It is done. We're going to make the overtake on Tsunoda into the final sector. We'll get up into second place. It's a crucial second versus third, but I feel robbed. I feel absolutely robbed. This has been absolutely manipulated, man. The FIA, you have a lot to talk to after this race, because Max Verstappen, it's been a long old time since the start of the season, but he's going to step back on the top step of the podium.
Yes, and that's a
Bittersweet.
podium. Excellent drive.
Bittersweet.
The
Mark's
whole team
ecstatic.
worked
I'm
especially
not.
hard this
I'm not.
weekend, and
Kimi
that,
deserved
my
that.
friend, is a
Kimi
fantastic
deserved an
result.
Italian Grand Prix home win there, and we have been absolutely hammered and robbed by the FIA.
Out of the final corner for the final time, Max Verstappen takes the win.
Verstappen, it's his second win of the season. Like I said, it's been a long time since that first race win, wasn't it? Down under in Australia. And that second win is going to take him to the lead of the championship, I believe. So if you didn't believe it before, believe it now. Verstappen this time really is trying to go for the championship. Last season, he was mathematically still in it at the last race, but he was a bit of an outsider. This time, he's making sure he's fully there, but it's now 9 points covering the top 3. It's the podium runners, basically. Verstappen, Tsunoda, Antonelli at the top there. Ocon, Colapinto, Piastri, Albon down the order. Aaron as well with the DNF. He's lost out a lot today, but this is certainly not. It's not over. It's still going to go, but this one hurts. This one hurts. It feels like we've been kicked in the stomach whilst we're already down. Twice over, the FI screwed us over there with Albon and the safety car restart, and then the last safety car, and how long that went on for. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Guys, if you have enjoyed that one, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below about all of that today. And if you are new around here, do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.